So, but thank you. All right. So yeah,
Sorry.
I am sending over some information to one of you, and while I do that, I guess the three of you can determine in or out of character about where you want to start on this journey. So we'll see.
Okay. So there were a couple of things Penelope needs to do before they even start going anywhere.
Okay.
That will probably help them figure out where the fuck to go.
That is fair.
Janice wants to have one conversation before we leave as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does Aiden need to do anything?
Ida needs to talk to Catherine as well. Again, just needs to pick her brain for a bit on the side, and that's pretty much it.
Okay. So while we do that, I am going to share another picture with you. Where are you at, picture? Get up here. All right, there it is. So I'm going to share with you the map, because we're all D&D now and we have maps.
He's big.
It's a pretty big map. Oh no, this map is still having trouble with the stupid corner clicking thing. Come on. The others got better.
Yeah.
What's your deal?
The maps are better. This one's not.
This one sucks. Why is this treated differently than the others? I don't understand that. Whatever. For real, Fantasy Grounds is an amazing tool, but their updates, while frequent, are often confusing. I think that sale's over though, so I hope everyone who wanted it got it. Alright, I'm just gonna shove that thing over here for now. And for a point of reference, we got a map up here in the corner. Hooray. Check it out. That's the world around you. Neat. And so
Just nothing but black hexagons for me right now.
is this that thing where I have to add Merlin and share it with you because of line of sight? Probably. Thought it would remember that from before, but maybe not. Let's drag it. Oh, there's Tiny Merlin. He's so small. That's why I couldn't see him. There you go. You should be able to see now.
Ah.
Yeah, it's almost like there's a much larger map that you haven't explored yet.
Oh, yeah, Jesus.
Look, we're playing a big game here. I'm not gonna let it take over 100 sessions to get to it and then make it shorter than the lead-in. So I guess
There, and I appreciate that.
no one expect to leave anytime soon. We're doing this for a long time.
Excellent.
So anyway, yeah. So there's your map. Ignore the tiny Merlin living in his tiny little triangle. Yeah. So I'm gonna type something up, but if you want to pick what things you want to do first, we could do that.
So what conversation does Janice need to have?
Oh, she needs to talk to. She and Belle need to talk to Freddy.
Ah, gotcha. And then Ida needs to talk to Catherine again?
Yeah, like, there's some stuff that he wants to, like, pick her brain for.
For rescuing Nina?
Overall, like, Dream's End.
Okay.
And then, yeah, if he can actually get some good info, he's gonna be like, yo, dogs, I got ideas, but currently I'm like, there's too many variables.
And then I know Penelope was gonna at least use the sending to find out where the heck Lucretia might be. And then she also needs to talk to Vivian and Nimue. To be like, alright. Like, I know you don't want this, but who looking bad? It's gonna sing it like that too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we could also keep talking amongst ourselves, but it's gonna be more of the argument from last week, probably.
Probably. It's fine. I will just type for another 30 seconds to give a general thing, and I'll provide more details in the future, just so that you have roughly an idea of what to work with.
Okay. Ignoring the fact that we just had arguments.
Coming down from the stress.
Have some more coffee, or maybe less coffee.
I haven't had any coffee.
Have some coffee. You don't you and you don't have coffee.
Just takes the entire pot and just chug, chug, chug.
Okay.
What? You just told me to have some coffee.
Right, but we're trying to set a good example for Aiden. He's not. You're not supposed to just chug a hot coffee like that.
He looks over. He's like, I knew it was like that. Tries to grab a coffee pot and chug it again.
She's gonna smack Aiden's hand.
Oh, there's not another one?
No,
Damn it.
there's plenty of coffee.
Chugs it back.
I'm gonna be like, alright, Aiden, do as I say, don't do as I do. Most people only drink a small little, like, tiny mug of coffee. And they don't chug it straight from the pot. I realize now that I am a little bit of a psychopath in this specific case.
Well, we wouldn't have you any different. Are you okay? Did you burn yourself? Do you need healing?
She just, like, makes direct eye contact with Janice and then just finishes chugging the pot of coffee.
Well, okay. Have some pancakes, too.
Anyway,
Pastries.
so,
Yes.
if we're gonna go do this, I've got a couple of things I need to take care of first before we set out, because otherwise we're just gonna be going on a wild goose chase out in a place. Well, I'm not quite as familiar with it.
It seems like it's going to be the journey's going to take a while. We didn't see anything even remotely like Camelot when we explored around here and scouted, so going to be
I mean, but did you know what to look for?
well, no, but my point is I think it's no matter where we go, it's going to be more than a day's, so we need supply.
So
We've got that little town or whatever that's like,
Well, that is
And
near the harvest, yes.
and then if we go towards, I still need to get in touch with Lucretia
We go down the river.
somehow,
there's that-
even though she's
there's
not
the-
really talking to me anymore, but
There's the church if we go down the river.
yeah, that's literally what I was in the middle of.
Oh, sorry. We go northwest, there's the Einosh Forest.
Yeah,
so
I'm
that's
not getting supplies.
No.
No. Speaking of scouting and updates, that's another thing I wanted to update all of you on. We have a few issues. Good, bad. I'll start with Enon. You can call him Spring. It's what it means. The village that's seen the sightings of the butcher, it's populated by cats. They're pretty chill, talk a lot. They should be easy to get information of in general. The Einosh Forest, we're just gonna get straight to that. That's gonna be a problem. Apparently it's been growing since I've summoned my good friend here. And at the rate that it's going, we have a few months at best before it overtakes our base.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. That biggest concern. So covered village, that was northwest, the forest, northeast, is mostly mountains. It's snow-capped peaks. Gets pretty close to the sky. It's on the other side, it's just mostly ocean and steep cliffs. Pretty straightforward. And the river that cuts through the hills, there's a large lake. It seems to have structures some kind over there. He's not quite sure. But he didn't want to go too far without me. Yeah, I kind of went back to y'all for a bit. That's what we got currently.
So basically, aside from what we knew from last time, it's the Einosh forest has been growing and southern villages full of talking.
Yeah.
Well, and we know that going
And then the
east,
structure.
east is pretty much just nothing. I'm sure there's stuff over there past the
Um,
ocean, but at the moment we're in a pretty good place. We're pretty well fortified here. We've got the mountain to our backs and then the lake to our front.
Yeah, the structures interest me. Were they described any certain way, or were they like?
He
just-
he couldn't quite make out the details on them from the distance, given it was, there are a number of hills and whatnot in the way, but apparently they were large enough structures that he could see them from a pretty far distance, given how far his vision goes. So, like, he could see them from far enough away that they are probably very large, and then are also large enough to stick out of the water. These are not along the water, this is in the water. Like, stuff is
this
sticking
is
out of
in
the
the
water. Yeah.
Okay.
It's either sticking out of the water or just floating upon the water. It's hard to tell, but...
Okay, yeah, sticking. Okay. I didn't catch that part. Yeah, so that slightly interests Aiden.
So so while we were
Like
putting
that.
together the base, we kind of just stuck a boat in there. Does that mean we actually have a boat?
Did you prioritize getting a boat? Because you've had half a year, so if you wanted to...
I mean, I was only
would assume
halfway
yes.
kidding when I said I wanted Annis to learn how to make a boat.
Considering you have access to people that have practical skills, you probably could have made a boat if you wanted to. Like, nothing super fancy, but you could have made a boat. Like having Kwakus there helps, having the two of the Goliaths there helps. Like, it may not be their primary skill set, but fundamentally, like, not to take away from the fine art of boat crafting, but like, if you want to make something that doesn't sink, and you have access to the modern world with the ability to get blueprints and essentially do the 2005 equivalent of like a Udemy course, yes, you can learn how to make a boat. You could watch how it's made on television and learn the basics, and then have some time for trial and error. There are plenty of woods around if you want to get some lumber. You don't have to bring it all down from the surface. So
Yeah, I think Annis would have spent some time learning how to make a boat and making a boat with all the craft people.
then you have a boat.
Let me see one of these things.
What do you name your boat?
Hmm.
The most important questions. Because if you leave it up to me, it's called driftwood.
I think Annis would probably try and call it the SSN and get outvoted.
No,
Exactly.
absolutely not.
Oh yes, the SSN.
Nerd.
Freddie also says nerd from the other room. Shut up. Well, okay. That's my vote for the name. What is your vote, Penelope? You're the water. You and I know the water bitches.
Water child. No,
You just name the boat Water Bitches.
yeah, why don't we just name it Water Bitches?
And we got demonetized.
We were never monetized. We were never
I don't know what that
monetized.
means.
I don't think you can be monetized when you're infringing on someone's intellectual property.
That's fair. Alright, it's the SS Water Bitches. Water, bitches. There we go.
I mean, because you're British, it's the HMS.
So, the HMS Hose must swim.
Oh my god. choosing the most obvious name, though.
The Titanic.
I wasn't even thinking about that when I was thinking Pody McBoatface.
No! That meme hasn't been invented yet.
We could call it the Titanic 2, the not doomed one.
Boogaloo.
Titanic 2 electric. Oh. Titanic but cooler, that's the boat.
Titanic.
We're just listing off all these names. Kwaku hears that one and is like, that's what I'm naming. That's what it's
Like, he is waiting for someone to tell him what to paint on the side.
emblazons
Wait,
that on the side.
Can we call it the HMS BB?
It's a bunch of different names. He's just writing them all down as we're saying them. It's chaos.
He's practicing his cursive. He doesn't want to mess this up.
Call it the HMS Rubber Duck.
Wait, hold on. Fem's boat, Van-Fem's boat was Fem's Casa. Do we have like a group name? We don't.
No, we never came up with one.
Should have had you talk about this while I was typing notes.
I don't know. Sherwoods.
There's only 2 people on this boat from Sherwood.
We just can't name it after any boat from the Odyssey
Oh my god.
at all, or Cersei will just smite us. Why don't we just call it the Titanic but cooler? Vivi would be proud.
You know what? Yeah. The HMS Titanic, but cooler.
Alright, I will make a note of that.
Anyway, if I did my math
For what
right,
it's worth, I did enjoy Driftwood, because I thought that was funny as hell.
that is very funny too.
I was trying to go off of the Annis names everything after plants thing.
You're not wrong.
Like, if Annis ever introduced, oh yeah, and this is my other cousin Driftwood, you'd believe it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are named after wood, aren't they? Well,
Different.
beaches, anyway. Anyway. We made
Good
the
old-
boat big enough that Aiden's big ol' horse ass could fit in it, for sure.
Okay.
So, another option for travel, if I did my math right, so I know I can turn into a giant, and I can polymorph someone else into a giant eagle, and then my servant can polymorph people into giant eagles. And giant eagles, if I'm doing my math right, can go about 9 miles per hour flying. Because they have 80 feet in 6 seconds. Which maths out to like 48,000 feet, which turns into 9 miles. I don't know if that's faster or slower than boat. And it's also like only an hour actual travel.
There are ways if you want to turn people into birds through all the means that you just said to get everyone to fly in the same direction. And you can cover a decent amount of ground doing that because you're no longer at the mercy of the terrain. You are kind of at the mercy of the idea that if for somehow one of these birds gets attacked, you might see 2 or 3 people falling when they lose concentration.
That's fair.
That is up to you, but that is an option. I am not trying to cut off your use of servant. Like, obviously, the ability to turn everyone into, big eagles is definitely a mode of transportation that is available to you.
But I think, especially if we're heading for the church, I think that boat is probably going to be the best option. Like, really, our only options from here at the moment, unless we want to fight the entire forest, seem to be go to the church or go to the cat village. And if we go to the cat village, we're fighting the butcher.
Are we?
Yeah. I feel like if we go to that cat village, unless we're really careful, we're going to end up catching the attention of the harvesters. I mean, the harvesters are going to be seeking us out anyway, because a butcher has to fight Aiden first.
Get fucked. Yeah.
So rather than come to them, we should make them come to us, because I want them to suffer as much as possible.
Facts.
That's the
Travel.
spirit.
Make them walk.
Alright, Are we basically done with the kitchen conversations?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Penelope's gonna go back so she can do this thing to and I can just type that up and send it
Okay.
if you want.
And then you wanted to talk to the lady.
Yeah, I'm going ahead and get it.
Okay. I can do the conversation with Freddy, or Aiden can do the conversation with the Lupins.
I am cool for whichever, because it sounds like I am doing all of them anyway. So let's go. I mean, I do want you to plan before leaving, because there's no telling how many sessions it'll be until you get back, so this is fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess while we were having the breakfast conversation, we would have also figured out who was coming with us and who was staying.
Build your party.
I mean, I figured it was,
The core 5.
you know, where we...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then probably also Freddy.
Roger.
Yeah, like the Goliaths are really here to, if anyone comes to the base, kill them.
Yeah. That sounds accurate.
As
Yeah,
fun as it would be to have them killing things for us. Okay. Alright, I guess if we all disperse, Anis will go find Freddy, who may or may not have been hanging from the ceiling, brooding.
No, we're just making fun of that. He's not actually
Okay.
doing that. No, he's actually reasonably well adjusted, which is just so fun to make fun of him.
It really is.
Let's turn that back into a normal map for right now. Okay, so checking the messages. So many messages. An answer to the question that was sent by Aiden, possibly. You don't know.
Okay.
It is something that you can experiment with should you get the resources together, but you do not know. Also, as like I said, that's going to take months. You have a
Yeah.
little bit of time for trial and error if you wish to.
Okay. Would like the base not to be consumed.
Fair. Like, just keeping in mind, like, this is not a 1 week Grail War. So,
No.
like,
Yeah,
you've got time.
Oh, and later off screen, we're going to discuss the territory stuff.
Yes, we will talk. I promise not to have your base attacked before we have that conversation.
Okay.
But yeah. So while that message is coming through,
Just in it.
oh, I got you. Cool, that's a quick and easy one to reply to. I like how sending keeps things short.
Yeah.
Oh, I think she likes this one.
Chosen cat.
Oh. Should charge extra for this one.
Been blessed by
Been
Shelley.
blessed by Shelley. Boop.
A free cat hair with every purchase.
They're a whole village of cats. They're all
It's-
going to demand couples and what?
It's all just Shelley.
The whole village of Shelley's. Old grumpy old lady. Oh, oh.
You can tell where she likes to sit because of all the claw marks.
Okay, you have your reply.
Woo!
Fuzzy.
Okay.
This is such
See,
good
I
radio.
don't want to send again
No,
to confirm. I said I don't want to send again to be like, all right, cool.
no, that's
Start sending.
no one expects you to reply to ascending again because most people can't cast it, let alone multiple times.
Yeah.
Aiden out here just like,
Oh.
I send 6 times. Let's go.
That's
No.
Aiden doesn't have spell slots; he has sending slots.
That's all it is.
It's like the paladins with smite. It's just all he uses them for.
And has a very thorough understanding of how precious it is, and so she's guarding her bottled sending. Like, I should only use these in emergencies. These are good for my friends. Spell slots.
Also, just as a reminder for the masters in the party, when we get to the next day, you finally get to give mana to your servant, and it's not in the gross way. But it does impact you, and your spell slots are hit dice. So maybe don't spend all your spells.
Oh, don't do this to me.
Too late. You signed up for this.
I know.
You gotta keep them going.
I know. Let's go. Oh, let's go.
Okay, so Penelope got her answer from Lucretia.
Cool.
It's like, okay, so she'll just find Annis and Aiden again.
I guess we can say this is still happening while
wait,
breakfast.
Yeah,
no.
we haven't really left.
Oh, well, she left anyway. But
Oh, okay.
Are you guys still at the table? then?
Yeah, we didn't
Yeah.
say I didn't leave after all.
Okay.
I wasn't sure what was going on.
So I got a reply from Lucretia. That's a good sign. But she is over at the church. And that is a sanctuary. So shit can't happen there, in theory. So yeah, that's where she is, and I would like to go over there.
I mean,
I have things that,
good place as any to spot, I suppose. We don't really
Yeah.
have any leads on where anything is at all.
yeah.
I mean,
I do still need to talk to Vivian and Emily, but that's gonna take me a hot minute. So, what time is it now? Not that time is making any sense because streams end, but
I feel like it was still morning.
it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon according to the calendar.
Oh,
You guys
Yeah, 'cause we
slept
had to
late because
sleep
you got here at like 4 a.m.
that's true.
So,
I got up early to do the summoning.
yeah, so it's currently the afternoon. I'm not gonna be too picky about the individual minutes, but the main thing was you got here at like 3 or 4, and then most of you wanted a full night's sleep. So here we are.
So I'm gonna. It's probably gonna take me an hour, just because things are weird. But yeah, so I guess let's meet back. Let's meet at the boat in an hour. Oh,
Okay.
damn, that was Fantasy Grounds.
Huh.
Yay!
Oh,
It
okay.
lasted an hour
It
and
did
some
last a while,
change.
yeah.
Woo!
It lasted until I shared Lucretia's picture.
You know what?
It couldn't
Lucretia
comprehend.
wrote it, it's
Your
fine.
computer, much like you, just couldn't comprehend the hotness.
I couldn't.
It's like you've got Lucretia and you've got like caster casual open at the same time. It's just too much.
Too
It's,
much.
yeah, it's just
Two
like,
maps,
no.
one of which is ginormous.
Oh, no, it's just having caster in the.
Oh, clearly.
My Fantasy Grounds couldn't care less about the maps. But yeah, so let's meet back at the. I don't know, let's meet somewhere in an hour. Let's meet here in an hour.
Okay.
And we'll go from there.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Cool. If you hear me yelling, no, you don't. Unless I sound like I'm in pain. But yeah, if you hear me yelling, no, you don't. Just. Yeah, so. Anyway. I'm gonna go do that now and.
All my little, like, links to maps and things got wiped out.
They got wiped out?
Yeah.
At the
Like,
bottom?
Yeah, like I used to have, well, I still have Hemlock and Greenleaf Potion. but I don't have, like, I used to have the mysterious weirdo picture pinned there. I don't have it.
And it's not hidden behind, like, Control or Shift or anything?
No, I don't think so.
Because when you hold them down, it changes the list.
No, they just went away.
Huh.
Except for Green Leaf Potion. I don't know what I did. Oh well.
Weird.
It's fine. We're in the Grail War now. We've known that it's Derek and not Mysterious Weirdo for years. It's fine.
He's still mysterious. He's still a weirdo. It still works.
Yeah, so Penelope's wandered off to do her thing. She can handle that after you guys handle your things,
Yeah.
if you want.
Yeah.
Whoever
Okay.
wants to go first.
No, I don't just turn to your mama and be like, hey, we don't have supplies for it now, but you thinking what I'm thinking, maybe? If you can, I don't know, grab Nora if she's able to do it too. You think maybe we could see if the Forbiddance would slow down the forest? Kind of protect the base?
Let me look up if that's something that Nora can cast. 1 second.
And it's like, have a cleric meeting. Get all the holy ladies together.
I don't know the spell enough to know what all list it's on. Let's see together.
It's cleric 6th level.
Oh, well, Nora definitely doesn't have that. She's not a cleric.
Oh, I thought she was. Never mind.
Nope.
Well then, mama.
Nope.
You're
It
the
makes
only
sense because
person-
you weren't here for it, but like in her first appearance, she turned into a bat. And
You
she
know,
flew through a
touche.
maze. So, you know.
Touche. Yeah, it's cleric only.
Keg Tapper is a cleric, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
feel
know
like
that.
Aiden would- Well, I was about to say, I feel like maybe Aiden would have figured that out from the last time, but maybe not.
I don't know if they've actually really interacted is the problem. I think the
Uh,
s'mores was the only interaction they've had.
Only a little bit. Like, they went off and did their own fighting while you did the tree fighting.
Yeah. I guess I would just
so-
be like, if there are any other clerics, we might need to round them up and start experimenting, and I'll try and get supplies for this while we're traveling.
Oh, Keg Tapper is a cleric. Don't know if he's awake right now.
Well,
So, one thing that I will note to you is
Yes.
that the duration of Forbiddance is 1 day.
yes.
Hmm.
Is it? No, it's not one of the ones where if you. Oh no, it is. If you cast it every day for 30 days in the same location, the spell lasts until it's spelled.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's a lot of component.
That's fair. That is fair. I will try to find enough for when it starts getting close. At
You need to
least.
find 30,000 gold worth of ruby.
Hmm.
I'm about to raid a mine, y'all.
Maybe we
Crap.
can find that at Camelot.
Look, if there's a treasure room, I am going full goblin hands. Like,
But
give
like-
me.
she would tell you that if you had the rubies for it and you had at least, if you had it together in time, you could probably head off the advance of it because
Okay.
by her understanding it is an undead tree. So you could
Yes.
essentially make a giant fire break to prevent it from having any path to move forward. And if you were to seal off a path, because it's a pretty big path, if you were to seal off an entire plant, based on the way plants work, it would probably try to go around it, but it would definitely slow it down.
Yeah, because I'm like, if it stops teleportation, which really isn't the issue here, but if they go into it, it will hurt the frack out of them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of damage per turn. It would dissuade nearly anything that it applies to if you were to set it up.
Yeah.
Question.
Cool.
Are there ley lines in Dream's End?
Yes.
Okay.
You are sitting on
Good.
one.
Okay. Could we do the same thing that we did back in Germany and move ley lines to kind of, maybe not choke out the forest, but kind of dissuade it from progressing along a certain path?
You could try to. What you did back in Germany partially worked because the tree was taking advantage of stuff that was already connected to those statues because it was the Einspurn Defense Network, effectively. But here you would probably have to work a little bit harder since it's not something that's already been kind of bent for the last 1,000 years to working this way. But theoretically, you could try to reroute ley lines, or at the very least, maybe bottleneck the direction that's feeding it, because the land probably doesn't like having its mana go over there and then die. So you may be able to communicate with the planet and get it to be like, hey, you've got a cancer, and maybe stop feeding it. Like, that's possible.
Okay.
It's quite possible. It would be harder, but it's something that you can investigate. You can also, one of the advantages of having all these people here, as you've just noted, is you can have other characters in the base do research on this stuff while you're out doing things.
Yeah, I think I would definitely talk to Nora about that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's like a Nora and Yuri could take charge on the defensive.
Okay, I'm going to make a...
I mean, ideally, we do what we did in Germany and we go kill the main tree, but I have a feeling that's not something we can just do right now. That's probably something that Morgan can help with.
To Camelot, you say?
Yes. Seems to be our best bet is to find Camelot.
Camelot.
It's only a model.
I would like to produce some coconuts from the
No.
table.
No.
No,
Oh,
only pineapple.
I would like to hollow
you
out
can
the
make your
pineapple.
own horse noises. You're a
Oh
horse.
my god, you're right. I don't need no coconuts.
Well, as long as you don't fight the knights who say me. I mean, at least we knew what to do to kill him. We're off subject. Yes, 1 hour at the boat. Got it. I guess we should round up our supplies and tell people we're
Penelope has
leaving.
already left.
And
Oh my
Penelope is
god.
Before the whole conversation even happened.
So while we are seeking out Camelot, I suppose we can have our friends here be figuring out a way to stop these fucking trees.
Yup.
Yeah.
Yup.
Alright, so
Right,
I'm
okay.
making notes of who's on what. So Nora is looking into leyline redirection and interface for the area. Bird Mom is going to be looking for ways to combat the undead nature of them and seeing if there's anything useful that can be done on that front.
Yeah.
Cool.
If anyone gets a boo-boo, just put a band-aid on it.
Kwaku is figuring out how to make grenade launchers. No, I'm kidding.
He already knows how to do that.
That's
Can he
true.
make my
Like,
holy
Kwaku managed to make a better version of Kiritsu's gun, and he uses it now.
You love that.
Annis has just left. She's gonna go find the emo man.
Yeah. Kwaku is probably going to be a resource for you for trying to figure out who the other servants are as you get information, since he collects stories.
Oh, that's true. He can go to the cat village.
If you want him to go to the cat village, you can ask him to.
Every time I try to grab my icon, I get a
I mean,
log error.
Yeah, no, I've been getting it.
Okay.
Try to grab your icon.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
And drag them.
it compiles logs every time.
Oh, that thing. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I imagine I do too.
Fantastic. Oh, and well, now I can move Anna. There we go.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what I need to do to make
That's
the system not make this stupid log thing pop out.
We're just gonna put here over here. She's in her natural habitat now.
Bird places.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so... Cool, so up next...
Oh, not gonna need this to go anywhere, but I'm just saying bird mom, hemlock, existing in the same place, having bird conversations, do
You
that
know,
with that what
that's-
you will.
That's fair. Just
Right.
have a nice conversation. Just put it back.
It's just squawking back and forth. That they're having like an intense discussion about bird things.
Occasional coups. Yeah.
Oh,
They're both probably talking at length about the perversity of undeath.
yeah, probably.
You
They have a lot
know,
of
that
talking-
is.
talking about their
confidential.
dumbass children. They keep trying to keep safe. They keep running off into danger.
Yeah. Alright, so speaking of the perversity of undeath, do we want to talk to Freddy now, or do we want to talk to the Lupons now?
Ready?
Unless you want to have the conversation with the Lupons, we can talk to the
Ready,
perversity. Oh
Freddy! Unperversed! Freddy!
my god, okay.
God. I will be right back. You guys do your thing. I will be back.
So, okay, he's not hanging upside down from the ceiling. Or
No.
anything.
No, he doesn't
He
do
is in
that.
this room. He's not in another room with like a bed.
Right now he's in this room. He seems to be going over the supplies because he assumed you would all be going out soon. And part of his job, as it turns out for a while, has been knowing how to stay alive on a boat.
Oh, that's a good point.
So he's been going over and making sure that you have reasonable
All the supplies
supplies
we need.
together.
For the HMS Titanic, but cooler.
Yep. And so he sees you walk in, and when you walk in, he is currently going over a clipboard. Not just like his last role, but looking at it, he seems to be going over food rations, water, first aid, acknowledging that you all have magic, and that's great, but every now and then you want to actually just bandage something up. And also
Oh,
remarking
I
on the
would've
fact that
imagined-
compasses don't really work very well here.
that's fair. I would have motioned for Belle to follow.
Oh, okay. I shall drag her in.
So, Belle, this is Freddy. Freddy, Belle.
Pleasure to meet you. And you as well. I don't believe we've met before. Are you a friend of Annis's?
She can be trusted. I don't think I need to explain who he is to you. Belle?
Oh no, I can tell immediately.
Is there a way to fix him?
I mean, I guess if you don't want him having any kids, I could take care of it right now. But oh, you mean the other way? The other way, right?
Change him back.
I could change him into something else, but I have a feeling that whatever I do will be undone at the closure of this event.
That's a good point. There, would that be true for a potion? Is there maybe a potion that can be made that could revert him and have that be a more permanent thing, like a permanent polymorph or something?
I'm afraid that once it goes through his system, the effect will end. No, I think what you would want if you want to keep him in a different state more long term would be the actual creation of something to hold the spell indefinitely, which we could work on. Tell me, what do you think that you want to be? I don't know how to answer that. Do you want to be a human? A half-elf? Pig? I could do pigs. I'm very good at doing pigs. Let's see. Maybe you... Oh, you could be one of those elves that changes with the seasons. That's exciting. You want to be that? Could be an Eladrin. He is looking at Annis a little concerned.
Okay. Not a word to anyone else. This is my servant.
That would make sense. Pleasure to meet you again. Going to guess by your enthusiasm and the topic that you're a caster servant.
That's correct.
Got it. In that case, for general safety, I will step over here because I don't want to accidentally drain you, because you're giving off a lot of mana right now. That is a problem. Yeah, I suppose whatever I try to cast on you might have to get through that. But it's interesting. It's interesting that we could work with this.
We're on top of a ley line here, so we might be able to use that to our advantage.
We could set up a circle. We could draw on some extra, I guess, given the name of this place, a bit of extra dream energy. And we could get you different, and then perhaps once we've found exactly what you want to be, we could work on encapsulating it. I know that it's not my specialty per se, but I could probably make you some kind of don't freak out, some kind of phylactery, not the bad kind, that could contain your more vampiric essence, leaving behind what is you. And then as long as you keep it nearby, it could continue to take that vampiric essence, and as long as nothing happens to it, you'll be mostly you. But I'm gonna need you, and she turns over to Annis, to pay really close attention to what I'm doing, because I can't promise that anything that I do will stick around once this is over. We're not really supposed to affect the living, and he might be the weird middle spot that makes the rules not care. But I also don't want the Grail to get all pissy at me and then turn me into a pig. So...
That is a good point. I was hoping to learn more about just witchcraft and potion making and general magecraft from you during the Grail War, for sure.
I'm certainly interested to teach if you're willing to learn, but it's not going to be easy.
I do not think it would be. I was also thinking, I mean, this place is where things go that are lost to history, and there's a lot of different versions of your legend where you use herbs, flowers, magical plants to do insane things. So I was thinking maybe if we stumble across some of those, one of those might be able to help in some way, or make a potion.
Oh, quite possibly. I'm curious to see what all is here, because the Grail summoned me with knowledge of the world above, not this one. So if this is where things go when they fade away, I would like to find out what got here.
Well, we know for sure there's at least 3 dead apostles in here. Camelot, the Library of Alexandria, apparently. I have no idea what we're going to find, but there's a very real chance that some of those herbs from your legends might be growing in here.
Let's hope so. I'm certainly interested to make something new. And I feel like you don't have to stay this way forever. We'll find a way. We can make something happen. At the very least, I'll try to find something that maybe you can give him afterwards that will keep things in check. On the plus side, there's so much mana floating around right here that I don't think you have to try as hard as you are to stay on top of this. I think maybe you're just afraid. So, chill out. There's plenty. There's plenty to eat. So much of it. It's kind of suspicious how much mana you have here in this place, but I guess if it's all going from the world, it's got to go somewhere.
Well, that's the hope, that the mana is coming here, and not that the mana is just going somewhere else and fading away.
It shouldn't be able to do that. It has to go somewhere. Whether it's being encapsulated into a less exciting form, or it's being used. Based on what I saw looking around in your head, it sounds like there's something of some kind of spell that must be incredibly greedy if it's taken this much. For all we know, this world that we're in right now is the egg for what they're trying to get.
As far as I know, as far as I've been told, it's whatever the last victor of the last Grail War wished for that was too big for the Grail to just grant, and that's what's causing the issue. I don't know if that's the truth or not, but it seems likely enough.
It would make sense. If the Grail was given a wish that was too big, it would keep pulling until it could have it. And it sounds like whatever it was has had a year and a half now, and it's still pulling mana, and it must be pretty big. It's really a shame we don't know who actually was in that war, or maybe we could try to figure out what they wish for.
Well, there are a lot of mages from Clock Tower here.
That's true.
So would Annis have found out much about the participants? She knows, obviously now they know about Medea's master.
Yep.
And then... But I don't think she would have learned much else about anything else. Like, she might have heard about maybe a person from the church. He wasn't even a master, though.
Not publicly. Yeah.
Not technically.
So what the lot of you have been able to find out, and I'm assuming you're sharing notes on this, just based on the information with the amount of time that you've had, you know that the church sent Bazette, and you know that the church sent, the dick, Atrum. So you know they were sent, and you know that the founding families have dibs, which means there's presumably a Tosaka, there's presumably an Einspurn, and there's presumably someone from the Makiri family, or the Mato family.
We know about Ilya. We found out about Ilya all the way back in Germany.
Yeah, you actually saw her servant.
Yeah.
Or rather,
Berserker.
Penelope saw her servant.
Yeah.
So yeah, you do know that one. You know one of the servants from that war. And that it was Berserker, and that it was a big dude. But,
yeah, that's about all we know. Okay.
Right.
Well, okay. Well, this is good news. I didn't expect that you'd be able to just come in here and wave your hand around and turn him back. I figured there would be a lot of research and magic and brewing and things that would have to happen first.
Yeah,
this is a good sign.
He's a bit of a fixer-upper, but I think you can make it work. Just see the potential, But also, fair is fair. You are fascinating right now. She's, looking over him, could you, yep, hold up your arm. All right, interesting. Okay. So do you have long-term plans for him? Do you mind?
Was that a question for me?
Yeah, she's asking Annis pretty directly.
I just want to help him. She is lying. Well, she's not lying. She really doesn't, but it's not, exactly a lie. I don't know why she's even bothering to try and lie. Cersei knows everything she knows.
Right.
She peeked into her head.
Yeah. She seems to just be giving Annis an opportunity to awkwardly blurt something out.
I don't have plans past the end of this Grail War, to be honest. hope we all make it out alive. After that, I'll figure things out.
That's the spirit. Well, in that case, you and I are going to have a conversation because I want to know how you work. You are fascinating. You are half vampire, half elf, I think. There's a lot going on in you, and that's fascinating. But also, interestingly enough, you've got a little bit of divinity floating around you, buddy. Who put that in there? Yeah. We're going to go have a chat, and we're going to find out how he works. So come on, let's go. Yeah, it's fine. Let's go. She just grabs him, and she starts pulling him away. She is not at all bothered by whatever his aura nonsense is. They're just going to go in there, and she's going to give him a talking to. Or something.
Oh, Annis is absolutely following.
All right. Okay. In that case, if you're following, they're going to go to the bigger room.
Okay. That's the bathroom.
Yep. She's taking him into the bathroom.
Oh dear.
And she is running the water. Fabulous modern. All right. Well, this is an inspection, so take off your clothes and get in the water. He is looking over at Annis like, what am I supposed to do in this situation?
Oh, Annis is not in the room though.
Oh, well, then you just hear that through the wall. She's not being very quiet.
Cersei, I don't know if that's necessary.
Oh, I do.
You don't have to do what she says.
That's probably... I have to get the boat ready. There will be other opportunities, I promise. And he's just gonna slip past Annis.
I did not know she was going to do that. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's her myth. I get it. I'm just gonna go back to the boat stuff real quick. Okay.
Wait, I did say
Zoom.
Cersei.
You did. You said her name.
Shit!
Oh my god.
I was
Fucking hell!
totally
Holy
just distracted by her being like, take off your clothes, get in the water. Shit. That's okay. He knows. No one else does, unless the Goliaths have heard. Oh no, Penelope's gonna be so mad.
Oh.
By now.
Oh my god. He better not say shit.
He seems to have been given a rundown that you don't share names. So, you're probably fine.
What was that all about?
I wanted to see how he works so that we know how to apply what we need to apply.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Does he have to get all the way naked?
Does it matter?
Kind of does.
I mean... Right, you're all prudes now, aren't you? She looks kind of deflated.
I suppose by your standards, yes.
Well, if you... We're eventually going to need to give him an examination.
Examination, you say?
How thorough do you need to be?
I mean, there's how thorough I need to be, and then there's how thorough I want to be.
Well, okay. Let me explain to you this new fangled concept called consent. We can just go on to a different...
Yeah, we'll segue away from that. Yep.
Yo, Penelope, what you doing?
Yeah,
guys?
you just hit up like Greek mythology with consent. It's gonna go great.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Zeus says no.
For the benefits of the audience, we are not following Zeus from Fate Grand Order. This is not that. We're not dealing with that. I do not want to have to explain that.
Robot. Not yet, anyway.
No giant robot Voltron heads from space. Okay, so yeah, Lupin party.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully this one doesn't last a whole 3
No,
months.
no. Yeah, Aiden's gonna knock on the door, swing back in when they allow
Yep.
him to.
They're here.
Yeah. Excellent. He's gonna look to Catherine and be like, "Hey,
Hi there.
no, we just talked earlier. Had to run back and give that information ahead. This is my friend. This is Yinon. You can call him Spring if it's too hard.
Hi there, Springon.
Oh,
Bring on, no.
I had a question. I know with Dream's End, this place is not really. It isn't connected to the other side that everyone else is all on, and we're good times, less magic. And you mentioned the Roomba doesn't work here.
Not so well. The way that my Magecraft works is that I create devices, and then I power those devices with mana. And conversely, I personally have the unique ability to take electricity and convert it into mana myself as a source. And the way my devices all work is that they take in mana from the atmosphere to power themselves, and that allows them to act kind of like familiars, but like a little different because they're not as advanced as familiars. But they're mine. The little bots fly around and they do stuff, but here's a bit more complicated. Like, I can use them, but they can only go so far because the way that they go further away is based on the idea that radio waves and microwaves and other advanced physics concepts, I guess not really advanced, but advanced enough, allow things to go over distances. And down here, there's not enough physics to really carry things far. So, like, while they're around me or in my proximity, they still work just fine. But I can't just send them out a mile and expect them to come back. They'll probably just turn into a duck or something.
So the mana is not the issue. It's that it requires the science. Is what you're saying?
Yeah. So, like, you know how a lot of, I guess, air quotes,
It's a reverse
magic
problem.
is something that is hard to make work in a world with physics. Well, physics is kind of hard to use in a world with magic. Like, I'm sure there's some way that I could probably get some crazy Norse runes, ancient, Asian script or something, and maybe put together a talisman and get these things running, but I don't know how to do any of that. That's not really how I work. So I'm just working within the confines of what works for me, and the further away it gets from reinforcement of, like, how technology works, the harder it is to make work. So, if this place is full of stuff that disappears and we find, like, a Radio Shack, then maybe my stuff works great.
The old
So,
blockbuster.
I
Beside Camelot.
I have a question, actually,
Uh-huh.
for y'all two. The battery. Did y'all tell Aiden about it, or was that something that he
was
doesn't know about?
there.
I also got zapped.
Yeah, but Aiden was there.
That's fair. He
literally
was
there.
okay. Cool. So he does know about the battery at least.
Yep.
He's gonna look at her and just be like, so here's my thoughts, because clearly we need magic and the sciences to meld together to create new things anyways. That's something we need for our side. Why not reverse and try to make the sciences work here in a magical way? Like, I don't know, like, this is Dream's End. If you can think it, can't it happen? Can't you manifest it? Or say, like, I don't know, like a magical battery? Would that help?
I think that it's what you're talking about is less a problem of power. Like, the technology, normal technology probably wouldn't work here. Like, that's true. Like, if I brought down a laptop, I don't think it would work. But the stuff that I have has Magecraft mixed in anyway. That's what we do in Atlas. It's really just a very fancy version of alchemy. The bigger problem that I have is that most of the things that I do are meant to work remotely. Like, I'm supposed to make something and let it go across the room and do something over there. But the further it gets away from me, the less effectively it works, because all of my connection to it is weaker.
So, you need to be a magic beacon and spread your energy. Hear you.
I need the world around me to listen to me a little bit. I think if I set up a bounded field somewhere, I could probably make things work within that field. But I would have to set up in advance. Like, that's something that I'm going to be trying to work on. Like, if I could get an area working closer to how physics works. Not all the way. Like, I don't want it to just shut things down, because physics would not allow my devices to work either. But if I could get it a little bit closer, I think I could make my stuff work a lot better. So my hoping is that I can kind of rig up some kind of booster pack for myself, or set up maybe some bounded field relays or something, and then get that going.
Have you considered, I don't know if you can do this, but when I try to find objects and he pulls out the twig with forks in it, it beacons me to the thing. What if it's just they have those on them and they find you always?
They know how to find me normally. This is kind of like, so let's see, you know what a phone is, because you have
I've
one.
just learned. Yes.
Yes.
He pulls out the phone.
Okay, so when you have this phone and you talk to it, it sends a message somewhere.
Yes.
And that message, when it doesn't go directly to the other person, it goes to a middle point, and then it gets bounced to that person. So
Felix is the middle person.
yes, sure. The Felix in this equation is what I'm missing here. Like, I know how to send a message, they know how to receive it, but the stuff in the middle isn't working. And so, I'll tell you what. What I'm going to do is I am going to work on, while we're here, I've been, plotting it for a little bit. I might go get that Kwaku guy to help me out with it, because he seems to be a little more grounded here. I'm going to try to make a thing that will expand enough physics in an area that what I'm doing works.
Okay.
And then if we can make that work, we can prototype it, we can get it running, then maybe we can set up a few of those and recover a little bit of what I do.
Okay,
But
cool.
I understand that that's not your priority right now.
No, but it kind of has another question. If those things work, how would you convince somebody what they're seeing is real if you could show it to them?
She turns over to Lupin number 7. This is more your thing, isn't it, big guy? It's like, well, as it so happens, I am an excellent master at convincing people that things are real. Like, case in point, I once convinced the entire world that... Oh, never mind, you don't care about that. No.
No. I need the entire world. Tell me more.
The entire world. Well, I convinced them that I wasn't me.
How did you do that?
I determined what they expected out of me. I determined what everyone's idea of me was. And then, for a little while, I was the opposite. To the point where they're like, well, he's probably faking. He wouldn't fake for this long, would he? What if this is his plan? What if there is no plan? What if we have the wrong guy? And then before you know it, boom, free. Good to walk away. Convincing people of the truth is hard. Convincing people of a lie is much easier, because people already want to believe something, and if you give them something they want to believe, they'll believe it.
So, here's the problem. I feel like... I want to make sure that magic can be spread back. I need to find a way. Say, like, hey... I don't know, like, one of the biggest things is there's a way to send a message and just spread hope, magic, all in one. Just like the butcher's dead. How would I spread that immediately to the entire world?
Telling
And
me
images won't do it.
I think that would be quite a thing because you have to get their attention.
Yes, yes.
You have to get
how would I do
everyone to
that?
see. Well, the thing is, people all over the world, different places. Like if I want to get something to happen, I would probably find something they're already looking at and take attention from it.
Well, I brought up that idea, your things, the TVs, yes, but it would the news. It wasn't a good idea.
That TV is very heavily regulated. You would have a difficult time getting that everywhere. Like, big surprise, it's not actually live even when they say it's live. There's a delay because someone somewhere wants the ability to push a button and turn it off. No, what you need to do is you need to find something that reaches everyone and find a way to pull enough attention that you can rely on human nature to do the rest. Like, for instance, you probably aren't familiar with this, but...
No, I was going to say I have no technology.
In the past, in the United States of America, where your friend Derek's from...
Whoa, Derek's from... Okay, yeah, tell me.
Right, that place. So,
yeah.
A long time ago, people convinced themselves that aliens were real.
I don't know what those are, but they sound great.
They are straight. So, people saw something in an area called Roswell, New Mexico. Didn't know what they saw, but they all went and reported that they saw something. And then when they saw that, the question was, well, what'd they see? What's going on? What's the big deal? And then when people went to find out what the big deal was, the government wouldn't tell them. The government prevented people from finding out. They told people it's no big deal, it's nothing.
So,
move on. But it created the mystery of what it was. And now...
Okay.
Now they want to know 60 years later.
So hear me out. Clock towers. They have those in the Americas and here and other places, right?
Yes, they do.
And they like to talk. They would be more susceptible to thinking things are truthful when it comes to magic. Do we just show all of Clock Tower and they just spread like wildfire?
They would probably kill you if you tried that.
I don't know where Roswell, New Mexico. I don't think we can kill the butcher there.
I don't think that would be necessary. I think it's more a matter of you've got to come up with a question that cannot be answered. And then you have to get people to ask it. You've got to come up with a way to get people to ask a question that cannot be answered, and that leads to mystery. That leads to confusion.
But how do I show it to them? Because they have to see it somehow.
I think you have to come up with some kind of experience that can't be explained. Like video, pictures, those can all be explained. People make those up all the time. We've got artists, we've got crazy computer people, there's all kinds of stuff like that. But no, you are a strange magical man.
That goes back to my second plan then, I guess.
Yeah, you're in a strange magical place. Got to find some way to be strange and magical in a way that people can't deny it.
I have a plan, but it's definitely going to require Penelope's help then. So I'm going to run it by her once we get to where we need to go. And yeah, I don't want to overwhelm her. We're just going to get step one, get to Lucretia. Thank you for the understanding. That leads me back to the only thing that makes sense. Good luck to the Roombas. If you need us, let us know. Do either of you know how to send?
I don't know. Let me check.
Well, if you don't, you can always go to send a message.
That's probably the easiest way to do it. I'm looking because I don't remember, because I haven't looked at her spell list in like 2.5 years. I have to level all these
Now,
characters
question,
up.
really quick, a fast question. If you get your field and you kind of get the physics you say back, will cell phones work here?
If we get physics back, then cell phones can talk to other cell phones within the radius of that,
Whoa.
but they
that'll
won't be able to
good.
go outside.
I'll let her know that. It's a work in progress. Thank you for the talk. All right, let's swing on out of here.
Vroom.
Time to go to Penelope. Wow.
All right, we'll cut over to what Penelope's doing then.
Well, I would pull up anything on the map, but Fantasy Grounds is now frozen for me.
Fun. It continues to do that.
It's crashed 15 times
It
during the session.
has become progressively less usable. I am sorry.
It's all good. It's not your fault. But yeah, I was gonna have. I just dragged Penelope and Johnny up to the room just
Yep,
because that is where I could get them before it crashed.
that is where they are.
Yeah. But Penelope was gonna go and summon Vivian and attempt to summon Nimue because I don't know if she can actually do it with Diana not there. She's gonna try it. Because she needs to talk to the two of them.
Okay. You can
Who's gonna do
summon
it?
one of them at a time.
Oh boy. Cool. And she was also gonna try and do this outside. I don't expect you to have a map for the
Sure.
lake outside.
But we can say that you're outside. That's fine. I'll
Yes.
spare you having to pull up another map while we're doing this. So,
I can't even get the castle map up right now.
right.
Yay! But yeah, so she's gonna go out to the lake.
You're
And-
outside at the lake.
Ooh, shiny.
It is.
she's- Is it like the typical blue-ish color, or is it like funky Dream's End color lake?
No, the lake itself is it's a more typical blue color, but it's kind of weird because you know how when you're like in a salon and you have a mirror in front of you, and sometimes depending on the layout of the salon, there may be mirrors on the side completely opposite you, so you can see like infinite mirrors.
Yeah.
So because the sky has a weird water effect, and the water below has a weird water effect, looking at the water down kind of looks like it goes on forever
Oh, geez.
as you're standing on it. It's not perfect because it does move, like it's not like still water, but it does make it nearly impossible to determine the depth of the water.
Cool. Glad Penelope's not trying to swim. But yeah, so she will go ahead and do the ritual to she's gonna try and summon Nimue first.
Okay. She does not need to roll at this point in her career. She knows how to do this.
Yep.
Nimue pops up with her requisite looking around twitchiness. I see you made it there safely. Good. My sister will be happy to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, I plan to talk to her soon, so I wanted to talk to you first.
Okay. Yeah, I am happy to assist in whatever manner I can. 1 second. She looks essentially off camera for a second, and then back. Okay. Yes, I'm good.
Okay. So, you know what we've been talking about over the last while, or at least when I've been able to get the two of you in the same room.
Negotiating whether or not my other sister can be awakened.
Yeah.
Yes. Have you?
And huh?
Have you come to a decision on how you plan to proceed?
Well, I wanted to talk to you away from Vivian for a minute. And I know earlier you said you just wanted to go with whatever she said to do. But I really want to know what you think.
I think that it's a bit complicated. So, simply put, I am more of a reactionary. I react to the world around me. I react to what's going on right now. And there's a lot going on right now. And it's one of those scenarios where, like, this was a bit easier when Morgan was here.
Right.
She was dangerous. She is dangerous, but she did provide opportunities to short term do something again. And I think that once she went to sleep and we lost that flexibility, I've had to think through far further than I used to, because there is no second chance for any of these things. If I make a mistake here, then someone dies there. If I miss something because I'm prioritizing something else, I am acknowledging that that may not be there when I get back to it. Or that something new will step in and it will never get attention. And I do miss my sister. However, my other sister, who prioritizes the future, I trust her. I have to. I have to know that everything that I'm doing is working towards a goal that is beyond what I personally have the focus for at the moment. And when she tells me that Morgan is dangerous, I believe her. When she tells me that Morgan waking up muddies her vision of the future, I believe her. And I can see how that complicates things drastically, because when Morgan takes things back, what she's doing is she's cutting a line. Like, whatever happened there didn't happen. And so the visions, the future that is seen by my sister on that path goes away. And new visions replace it. And that does make things harder, because now we have to adjust course. And whatever actions I've done to support my sister to enable the futures that she sees have to be reevaluated and redone again, and it gets exponentially harder. And I think that ultimately our lives were easier when she was here, and ultimately a lot of this worked better when we could work together. But if I have to trust one of them, I'm going to trust Vivian before I'm going to trust Morgan, because Morgan does not worry about the consequences of her actions as long as she can go back. And the consequences of her actions are suffered by everyone on the path that she cuts off.
That's So, if I said that I was still thinking about waking her up, and that I did intend to go there or find her and find Camelot and wake her up, how much is this gonna screw things up?
If you were to find Camelot and you were to wake her up, then she would inevitably take my other sister's plans and complicate them. And she would no doubt have her own plans that she would like to enact, and that those plans would inevitably come with costs that are hard to understand, because she does not see them as costs, she sees them as opportunities. That said, I am here to survive now, and I am here to make sure that we are here for later, so that whatever time frame my sister plans on can happen. And so, if your goal is to awaken Morgan, because you've evaluated the world around you, and you've decided that that is the best course of action to get through now, then I will not be critical of you, because that is all we can do. My sister Vivienne has the benefits of seeing later. But I have to see now, and you live in now. And while I would absolutely love to safeguard later, I operate in faith that my sister has the best plan for all of us. You are now in a position where you can decide if you have faith in my sister's decisions or you have faith in your own observation of the situation. And to be completely honest with you, as someone who lives everywhere at once, I trust my own eyes more than I trust almost anything, and I cannot fault you for doing the same. Because Vivian will not explain herself. She tells us to trust her, and that is all that we will get out of her. She has never once, throughout any of this, explained what's going to happen to me, because she claims that doing so will change it, and that makes it irrelevant. So, if this is something that you're planning on doing, then I will simply tell you that with no special knowledge of the future, but with a very firm knowledge of the present, you will have the ability to do what you seek to do.
Okay. And so Vivian hasn't told you anything about what her visions of the future have been?
She cannot.
Like at all?
She has told me that there are many paths forward. Most of them end very badly. But we are working towards the best path that can be achieved.
Has she ever said anything about my future? Or anything
She has
about
said that
me?
you have a very important future. She has, at points in your past, she has interceded in ways to help you reach that future. And to do that, because she does not have as much influence over the world as I do, she has come to me. Now, I understand that that may be a bit intimidating, but to be clear, you live your own life. You've made your own choices. She has simply made it possible for you to have better options.
What did she intercede in? Do you know?
Once a long time ago, she had me give some direction, indirectly, but still direction, to a man that led to him finding you when he shouldn't have. And that led to your musical career.
Oh my god. Ugh.
But to be clear, you made that musical career. She did not make you successful. She simply made sure that a good, well-meaning person found you before anyone else.
Thank you. I know I'm not supposed to say that.
Uh, you do us an honor by working as you have and by making the world a better place. And I personally appreciate how much you've looked out for the elves and half-elves around you. In many ways, they are my children because they too see the entire world around them but choose to have faith in the future.
Okay. I think I've heard what I need to know.
You'll you'll find help on your journey. You should be receiving it shortly.
Okay. Before I call up Vivian, do you know where Diana is?
She is on her way. I checked in with her recently. I actually gave her some direction last night once it became clear to my informants in Clock Tower that they were going to be moving on your friend's potion shop. I had her intercede to slow them down to buy you the time needed to get out, because it was critical that the two masters present made their way to Dream's End before Clock Tower could intercede and potentially jeopardize this entire event. She is safe. She and the boy should be there soon.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not laughing like in character.
Here comes
Right.
the boy.
Here comes the boy.
Hello.
Okay. Face. Okay, well, I'm glad they're on their way. Alright. And then she, does her customary little curtsy. She sends her off.
She nods her head to you, and the water collapses down.
Oh, holy shit.
Hey, you got an answer to a session 1 question.
Yeah, God, fuck.
Oh, about
Jameson,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Fuck. Okay.
Yeah, so to be clear, just as you had, as you checked him on the boat, he's 100% a normal human. He just got nudged in a direction that allowed him to find you when he shouldn't have.
Oof. Oh boy.
He is absolutely in over his head every time you guys pull him into anything. He has no secret superpowers.
He's just that good at his job.
clearly.
It was decided by the ladies of the lake that Penelope had a big future, but in order for her to have that big future, she needed a competent but well-meaning and respectful person to guide her there and to keep her safe until she got there.
Good choice. We leveled A+.
And he did. And he didn't even realize it. Once he found out from Johnny that he essentially was indirectly working for a dead apostle just because the entire industry is run by one, that was a legitimate surprise for him. He had no idea.
God. So
Just working
before Penelope summons Vivian, she's just gonna be like, I don't actually remember what I'm paying Jameson at this point, but I'm tripling his salary. Fuck! Okay. Whew. And she's just gonna shake it out for a second. And she's gonna summon Vivian.
Okay. That's even easier.
Yeehaw!
She pops out of the water.
Bloop.
Hello again. I'm glad to see you're safe. Nimue just mentioned that she spoke to you and that you'd be reaching out shortly.
Yeah. I wanted to speak to her first. I wanted her opinion on something. I wanted to try and get her at a moment where she wasn't being pulled in 20 billion directions and only maybe 20 million?
That is quite a moment to ask for. Did she
Yeah.
give you your answers?
She did. I was actually kind of shocked I got most of them, and I was kind of surprised by one of them.
It's a sign of how much she values you.
Yeah. That honestly does make me feel a little bit better, not gonna lie. So I've I think I've come to a decision, but I don't think it's a decision that you're going to like. But it's a decision I want you to trust me on.
I would not have given you the ability to make that decision if I was not prepared for you to make a decision that I don't agree with.
Okay. I am gonna go wake up Morgan.
Please be careful.
I know. I think from here out, my approach needs to be less of a diplomat trying to balance sides, and just I need to reach out as a friend, because she doesn't have that anymore.
No,
Like,
she made quite a mess of her friendships.
And I mean, I consider you and Nimue my friends. Like, yeah, you're kind of my boss, and I guess Nimue kind of is by association. I don't know.
We
So,
we are fond of you as well, Penelope.
I know. But I'm just, based on what I've been able to figure out, I know that waking her up is going to make things more difficult for you. And I do feel bad about that. But I also think that having the opportunity to use her abilities to shape how things go in this Grail War and not completely screw us over, I think it'll help. Especially because, I mean, I've accomplished so much over the summer, like, it's actually kind of scary. I'm not sure how I got to this point, but here we are. But I think it's time, and I really would like both yours and Nimue's support.
You've been given enough information to make this decision. You've had time to think about it. You know who she is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what she's done.
Mm-hmm.
And you understand the nature of her ability.
Yes.
And you know the consequences of her use of it.
Yes.
If, knowing all of that, you've decided that this is still the best way forward, then I will have faith in my emissary and her judgment. I will not pretend that I can see where this is going, because things get cloudy when she's involved, but that is why it is an act of faith and not knowledge. I can tell you that were we to continue along the path that I'd expected, there would be many possibilities for success. You're choosing to go in a direction that I cannot predict. And if that is what you feel is right, then all I can do is offer support and warnings. Morgan is very dangerous. Morgan is not dangerous in the sense of she takes risks. She's dangerous in the sense of she does not see them as risks. the concept of collateral is of dubious note to her, because if she feels like she's made a mistake, then she will simply sever an entire world to go back to before she made it and try again. And in the place where you are now, that ability is quite powerful. But you've seen the world. It is your world to fight for. The age of fairies has come and gone. We can only do so much for a world that is no longer ours. Just please be careful.
I will. I think the only person I really feel bad for right now is Nimue.
She
just,
carries a heavy burden.
yeah. And if there's anything I can do to help alleviate that, then I want to do that.
If you want to make her world a better place, then finding a way to work with Morgan could do that. But also, it may be worthwhile to speak with your peer and get her to be a little more open and honest.
With Diana?
Yes, with Nimue's emissary.
Oh,
There's a path for her too, that at this time I can see, and it does not go well for her at this time, but perhaps Morgan can add the variety necessary to give her a chance that she will not otherwise have.
yeah, I can't even see the future. I know that she's not exactly gonna have the best ending.
She has a number of paths, and while some are better than others, none of them are going to get her what she wants.
I don't think there's anything that can.
I can't see anything, but as noted, you're adding chaos to a weave. What we get will be a mystery to us all.
Should I wait then?
Should you wait to awaken her?
Uh-huh.
I cannot tell you what will happen without influencing what will happen. And at that point, you might as well have already woken her up. Because I'm blind beyond the moment she wakes up.
And if anything does go wrong, will you two help me?
We'll have to. One way or another, you're not going to be alone, Penelope. Regardless of whether or not we think that you are doing the right thing, you've been given the ability to do it. And Nimue will react to the consequences of your actions, and I will try to guide her to provide the most support possible. But when Morgan wakes up, I will need time to evaluate the world, because I have not seen a scenario with her in it.
Okay. When this does happen, if this does happen, can you promise not to be mad at me, whatever the result is?
I am not going to be mad at you for observing the world and doing what you can to affect it. That is what brought me to you in the first place. If I wanted someone who just did what I told them to, I would not have gotten an emissary. I would have gotten a golem.
Definitely not a golem. Oh my god. Did I tell you what happened last night?
You mean with that ring on your finger?
Yeah.
You did not tell me, but Nimue can be quite gossipy.
Oh my god. I assume you approve.
Oh, I have no faults with it at all. You keep that wife of yours safe. Don't know what the future holds after you wake up, Morgan, but the way things are going right now, it's very bright.
Okay. Thank you.
Help her glow.
I will. Oh. Guess I should ask if... How will I know what Camelot looks like? Or how should I go about finding it if I do go?
Well, what remains of Camelot is it's a castle. It's a walled city with big towers, and it moves because it rests on the back of the last dragon.
Oh. Was that Albion?
It is the Albion that was. The world that you live in, Albion is long since dead and dug himself as deep as he could. But
right.
in the place where you're at now, the parts of him that made it are there. And they continue on in their duty to protect Camelot and to keep the lost world lost.
Okay. Then I guess look out for bits of a dragon carrying a castle. Got it.
Look for a dragon or look for a castle that wasn't there before. In my understanding from his habits before, Albion is fond of high up places or very cool places.
So the mountains would be a good place.
It's a good place to start as any.
Yeah. Oh. And then I have one more question, and then I think I'm good. What? Okay, what is the heart of Britain?
That is a good question. The heart of Britain is... How familiar are you with the rise of King Arthur and the birth of Camelot?
Somewhat familiar. I know bits and pieces of it from stories, and then
So
I know what I've heard.
I'll give you the short version. So King Arthur, after pulling the sword of selection and becoming, the known King Arthur, but before the founding of Camelot. King Arthur was waged in war with his, or her, I suppose you probably deserve to know the truth, her father's brother. And her father's brother was in many ways her opposite. He was a representative of the world before. He was a representative of the idea of a Britain that did not cede itself to man. He was, in many ways, the most powerful and dangerous entity in the British Isles, because he was the hope of Britain for a world without humans. The world run on mystery, the world run on the way things had been before. And in many ways, his victory would have been the end of the advance of humans into the British Isles, and the British Isles themselves would have become primordial in nature. They would go backwards. They would become a simpler, darker place. But he was opposed by King Arthur. And King Arthur, with the aid of one of her trusty knights, managed to defeat him when he had taken his dragon form, as he was in many ways the spirit of Britain, and he took on the form of a giant dragon. And through the darkness that he cast upon them, King Arthur and her one remaining knight, having lost so much of his army, or her army, managed to pin him down with sacred swords and run the spear that holds the textures of the world together directly through his body, killing him. And when he died, the era of mystery and magic reached a point of irreversible decline, because the land itself had been defeated and tamed by a human, or as close to a human as Arthur qualified for, I suppose. And as this happened, Morgan was there assisting, and Morgan made that victory possible. And when the white dragon fell, Morgan, as she always does in hedging her bets, collected his heart. She collected the heart of Vortigern, and she stowed it away somewhere that she would not show myself or Nimue. And she said that if this path truly fails, if humans do bring the world to ruin, then she would use every last ounce of her power to revive that heart and bring it back. Bring back the mystery. Bring back the era from before man. She does not want to do it. She does not think that is a good path, but she wanted to keep the option. So she hid it somewhere. I don't know where. Nimue doesn't know where. No one has ever found it. But knowing Morgan, it is still hidden somewhere. And if she were to pass that over to Nimue, then it would give Nimue the power needed to help secure the futures that I see, because it is the heart of a dragon. Unlike most creatures, dragons produce mystery by breathing. They produce mana by being alive. And whether or not the dragon surrounding that heart is dead, that heart is directly tied to Britain. It is directly tied to the ley lines of the land. It is directly tied to the entire past of a continent that has influenced the entire human world. And tapping into the mana that has generated would be a fundamental game changer to the world. But she wants to keep it preserved so that if the world ever finds itself on its deathbed, she can try to push it as far back as possible and, if necessary, remove human supremacy along the way to save the planet and the remaining creatures on it. That is the heart of Britain. It is the heart of Vortigern. It is the heart of the mystery of Londinium and the British Isles. And it is one of the last remnants of the world before man took over.
So that's why she's wanting to keep it safe. And
she does not trust anyone with it. She would stay asleep for an eternity as long as it was there, on the belief that that means there's still some way to put things right, to bring back what was lost, and to give the world another chance on a different path.
you want to know what I told her?
What did you tell her?
Oh God, So, when I was trying to, I did try what you asked me to try. I asked her for the part of Britain, and I told her that if she wanted, that I could keep it safe. And I could at least show you guys that I had it. And then she wouldn't have to worry about whatever she's worried about. And then you guys wouldn't have to worry about whatever you're worried about. And then I would just, yeah. It's kind of silly in retrospect.
She is very unwilling to part with it.
Yeah.
But she is also not quick to speak of it because it only really matters to her if she has to use it. And if she has to use it, it would unmake the world that you know.
Yeah.
It is the most drastic of courses that I firmly believe she would only take if there were no alternatives. Because an unmade world that can still grow is better than a world that is dead.
Yeah. Ugh. Okay. Well, I'll at least wait for the other two to show up.
If you do continue to seek Albion, just know that Albion is a powerful dragon, but Albion is an ally to the lake. He will not hurt you if he understands who you are.
Okay. Good to know. And she's gonna go to Curtsy, but she's just gonna run up and hug Vivian again. Just like
You hug the water from the lake, and it provides a little bit more force back than you were expecting. So it's not quite like just hugging a water balloon, but But yeah, like you get the sense that maybe something about the spell is carrying through. So
Gonna be like, I know this doesn't really count, but
the feeling is still appreciated.
yeah. And then she'll do just a little embarrassed curtsy and then send her on her way.
Okay. She nods to you, and her water recedes a bit less splashy than Nimue. It just sort of goes down more smoothly.
Oh, goodness. Well, I can let the others do it. The other two are on the way. Oh my god. What a fucking day.
Hooray! Shall I gather you all in one place?
Yeah,
I already put Anna back in the
Yeah.
back, sitting across from me.
Alright, is the kitchen the go-to meeting room?
Yeah.
I mean, we have a meeting room, but it seems like the kitchen is the go-to room.
That's
Well, the food is there.
yeah.
It's what, like...
I forgot I was muted. I was like, the snacks are there.
Alex has made lunch. She's made some salads. She's made some sandwiches.
Alright, I'm gonna
Sorry, I'm
move.
just on Discord chats.
Oh, hold on. Don't crash Fantasy Grounds. Don't do it. Okay, good.
We'll do it.
No, don't do it.
It started to like lag load on me, and I'm like, no, we are not doing that. Alright, I'm dragging you guys down to the room so that you're all in one place. Hooray. I think that's almost everyone. Hold on. Bell has
We're
been
missing you.
returned. I'm having fun with this angle view. It's a little more interesting to look at. Still learning how to use it, but it is neat.
And it says made some fish. Like, I caught these fish myself. I hope you like them. They came from the lake.
Yeah, I want them. So,
You guys all look like you had a lot going on. Says Derek in his only line of the episode.
Oh,
No, it's okay. I've come to realize Enon hasn't said anything yet. You've
Yeah.
not given him voice.
as far as we know.
Derek, you're doing great.
Well, you could say that. Bitch.
no, he's just
Well-
like, I found out shit about myself I didn't even know.
Oh?
Well, I know Jameson's secret now.
Oh?
I'm keeping that myself.
Oh.
But it's... Don't worry, Jameson is getting a triple raise.
Is he some sort of fake creature?
No,
Did he make a pact with someone?
no.
Right, keep
I'll
the
tell...
secrets.
How about this? I'll tell you when you tell me about your servant and let me meet her.
Mm,
Or him. I don't know.
yeah, keeping secrets.
Whatever.
Aiden and Enon are just like watching this back and forth, like, oh, they're going in.
It's fine.
Um,
I'm only a little curious, but I'm sure I'll find out eventually.
yeah, I mean, it'll blow your mind once you know.
I'm
but,
sure it will. I'm sure
You're
it
gonna
will.
be like, oh my god, that is the wildest story I've ever heard.
Have some more coffee.
Chugs the entire pot again. I'm
You know-
on cup number 2.
Have you ever heard of the word restraint?
Have you?
Aiden passes over Enon a cup of coffee. You should really try that.
I know about restraints.
Oh. Just looks over. What?
First
What?
thing that man has said.
Belle, you should probably tell your... I don't know how you're related.
Niece?
Other than-
What's your friend?
Aunt's friend.
Aunt-in-law.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
No, not quite in-law. Honorary.
Oh,
no,
shit
that's
is
not quite
weird.
right.
Anyway,
you
you
know,
should tell
We're not,
Annis.
we're not quite related, but
You
we're not related.
You should tell Annis the meaning of restraint, since you apparently know.
Well, some things are just more fun when you don't really have a say.
I was just staring off into the distance in the most concerned look ever.
So hard at her coffee.
She's just looking at her and being like, okay, now don't be nasty.
She looks up.
Don't do it.
She looks up, but she's across from Derek, so does Derek look like he's scandalized, or it's just kind of...
Derek is just used to you people doing this. Like, he's just enjoying his fish.
I'm just gonna go pull some good leafy
I
green.
did find out, Diana's on the way, and apparently Buck might be joining us as well.
Oh! Huh. Didn't think to
Yeah.
make him a room. Do we know how long it'll be before they're here? Right.
I legitimately don't remember. Oh God.
Well,
Yeah.
you can,
You were just told that they were on the way.
we have extra beds, or
I
you
just
can
know that
sleep
they're
in
on the
Diana's
way.
room. I don't know what they're doing. I don't want to know.
Oh, Aiden starts putting back the mirror as you say you don't want to know. And
Are you sure you don't want to know?
I don't need to know what
I'm
my
not sure
cousin
I
does
wanna
with
know.
his friends.
Sorry, this is really funny to hear you say, like, as you're just over here
Oh,
brushing
I'm
the
gently
wig.
brushing out a wig. Is it getting picked up by the microphone? Should
No.
I don't hear it at all
Okay.
now.
No, it's a really funny visual.
So you did, how did you find that out? Did you have a chat with your lady?
I talked to both of them.
Oh,
Yeah,
how did that go?
surprisingly well. I think there's a dog barking out in the hallway. The dog agrees. Oh, what the heck's happening out there?
I don't
Okay.
know. For us, they're okay. On board with your plan to.
Well, they're not fully on board, but they did say that they would support whatever decision I. And that if shit goes down because of it, then they'll help me then. I am a little. I don't want to say that I'm more hesitant now after talking to them again. Because, but I think I'm just. Because apparently once Morgan is awake, things will get easier for Nimue and harder for Vivi. Because once Morgan's awake, Nimue is going to have an easier time handling. And she just gestures
The
like everything.
present.
Yeah, she's going to have an easier time managing the present. But things are going to get really cloudy for Vivian's visions of the future. Until she gets an idea of what things are like once Morgan is. But apparently she's got the heart of Britain hidden somewhere, keeping it safe. And it's something she could use to turn the world back before the Age of Man happened. Something.
Oh.
But she doesn't want to use it unless it's an emergency.
Right.
then we just do our job and
Yeah.
help progress the world in a better way.
It's like
Our goals are her goals, I think.
Yeah,
I like
it's everyone's
I,
goals
Well, everyone here
in
is
this
still-
room.
Like, I still think waking her up and getting her help is I
Oh, he's still
think
there?
I'm just scared because it's something where the answers aren't quite as clear. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
But I still think it's something that needs to happen. And if she wants to go back to sleep afterwards, like, I wouldn't blame her, because I kind of want a nap after all this too.
Yeah. And
Yeah. But I think what needs to happen first is we wait on Diana and Buck to get here. Then we go head over to where Lucretia is. And then we start camelotting.
and
Unless you guys don't want to come with me to go see Lucretia.
No, I
I
would
think it
go
would be
with you.
valuable to go see where the church is in
Yeah.
case we need that information. That's downstream a couple days.
I thought it was only like a
DM?
If you're going by boat, because it's pretty much water the whole way through, it goes a fair bit faster than trying to go on land. Going downstream will not take long. Going upstream will be much harder.
Mhm.
So you could probably, by going downstream, just from the way the map is, you could get from like your base of operations here with your own lake. You could get through the hills and, without being too reckless with your new boat, because you are still kind of learning how to use it, you could get to the next lake area probably just in a few hours. Like you're gonna cover a hex an hour if you're going by boat downriver. It's like coming back will be much harder,
You have
and
control water.
yeah. So going down, that'll get you there. Now, what you don't know from the map is how far past that lake it is to get to the ocean. Like that you don't know. But as you go down, I will reveal more of the map because you'll get more chances to see. And at least one person in your party has really good distance vision. So
Yeah.
you'll get opportunities to see more as it goes.
I want to scout this place so
I can
hard.
scout with Hemlock and stuff too.
And hey, once Diana gets here, we can do the water transport thing to get back.
Good point. I mean, it wouldn't bring the boat back.
Oh yeah.
Admittedly, it wouldn't bring the boat back, but you could also use the water transport to get back to the boat. So,
True.
you know, depending on what you want to do with that. Like, this was a thing that I factored in. In a lot of ways, the water transport is what limits your party size.
True.
Did they happen to tell you anything about where Camelot might,
So
what Camelot even is?
yeah. So
Oh, they did.
what we're looking for is a castle on a dragon's back.
A dragon?
Yeah.
A-
Kind of, sort of, parts of a dragon.
So it is a castle. It's on, is it an alive dragon?
Not necessarily.
So it's
It's moving because it's
moving.
yeah.
So is it?
It's kind of like that movie you showed me. Or no, you showed me the book. I showed you the movie. One with the castle and the wizard.
Are we talking Hell's Moving Castle or Castle in the Sky?
Hell's Moving Castle.
Oh,
Eureka's Castle!
I mean the book was.
Yeah, because
but,
it's like the
it's
castle
like
thing
that.
on legs. It's moving around and it's like, woo, I don't want to be here anymore. So it just goes, woo.
Well, it's on a dragon's back. Is it flying around or is it walking around?
So from what I understand, From what I understand, it likes cool places and high places. So my guess was somewhere up in the mountains.
Oh, as in the mountains directly behind it.
Yes, there's.
Ah.
What about
got there? Yeah.
what about
there are
the
other mountains.
lake?
Yeah.
What about the lake?
I mean, there's something giant sticking out of it. Would a lake
And it
not
might
be
be in the
cool?
lake.
Yeah, maybe we'll find it on the way to Lucretia. Problem solved.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Or we can wave. We can wave if we go by.
That does narrow it down a bit. Now we know what we're looking for, and we know it can be anywhere.
Yeah.
But mainly it likes to be in cool places.
Yeah.
Did you say Albion, or did you say a dragon?
She didn't say all that.
Okay.
From what I understand, it's... So you remember Phoebe talking about that dragon that is under London?
Underneath Clock Tower, yes?
Yeah, the one that was digging and
tried to get to the other side.
Yeah. Apparently parts of it actually made it through to Dream's End. And those are the parts that are carrying it. Carrying the castle.
I'm sure the butcher will be
Albion.
Oh.
Albion what now?
Well, I'm sure the butcher will be happy that there's a dragon. Yeah.
I don't know. I think if he's looking for a fight with said dragon, he's not going to be very satisfied with said dragon.
I'm sure Albion will kick his ass.
Oh yeah, probably.
We don't have to worry about fighting this, do we?
I mean, not if it knows who I am and knows who I represent. It'll be like, hey, yo, you're in the Freshwater Bitch Club. And I'll be like, yeah.
I'm sure that's exactly how it will go.
That's precisely how that conversation is going to go, and I don't want anyone to doubt me.
100%. So we're waiting on my cousin and your get here. They know where they're going,
I would certainly hope so.
We don't know when they'll be here.
I just know it was soon.
Okay.
But honestly, if they take too long,
we can just leave them a note.
Yeah.
Meet us at the church.
I know it's such a waste, but part of me just wants to scry on book.
Well, we don't know if they're going to be here long enough for us to get a long rest.
That's why I was like, they're in the stairwell. They're going to be 30 minutes. Like,
we leave them a note that just says, "We went to the church. Don't be nasty."
I suppose we could delay our leaving a little bit. The Grail War starts today, or was it supposed to officially start tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
We're going to the church, which is downstream, and then from there we're searching out this flying dragon castle.
I think.
Hopefully we don't run into any enemy masters on the way and have to fight.
Well, if they fight now, they're idiots.
Well,
Official emissary decree, they're idiots.
Well,
and official neutral party decree, they're idiots.
Well, it sounds like we have some downtime, and I got up very early this morning, so I think I'm just going to go take a nap for a while.
Okay.
After I'm done with this lunch. I'll be up in time for dinner.
Do you want me to wake you up if they get here?
Of course.
Okay. Yeah, I think that we've got a plan.
We've got something resembling a plan.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So, did we get through all that without anybody scrying?
If you want to scry, Annis would stick around to find out if they're like.
I'm like, if we. What kills me is like, okay. It's technically the start of the day. If I use this 5th level spell, I will not have it for. But if we don't fight anybody next time, then it's fine. Part of me just really wants to know where Buck is.
You do what you do.
We could. I mean, it's already 2:00. Unless they're like 10 minutes away, literally, we'll probably then be like, okay, well, we don't want to do this in the dark.
That's fair. We could sleep again. You know what?
Question.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Is it a specific season right now? Do we get a sense? Is it spring, summer, fall, winter? Or does it
be outside?
Have we noticed the changing of seasons in Dream's End as we've been coming in? Anything like that?
You've not noticed the changing of seasons. It doesn't seem to really operate on a seasonal cycle.
Just areas of the map that are more seasonal.
Yeah, like as Catherine was alluding to before, it's not exactly running on a physics rule set. So, like, some areas are colder or warmer. It's not directly corresponding to, like, latitude and longitude. At least from the limited extent of the world that you've seen so far. Like, it seems like some areas just get cold. Like, you could be walking around outside and, like, you go 20 feet over and suddenly it's 20 degrees colder. And then you walk back and it's warm again and you don't really know why.
So all the corn and wheat I planted outside are doing fine.
Everything that you planted in appropriate places seems to be doing great.
I'll want to pack some coats or something for when we go to the cold.
That's probably a good idea. Also, wow, I didn't get to bring this up before, but this is fun. Storms here are different. You've been here long enough to have observed this. There are two kinds of storms, and this is backed up by a bit of scouting done. Because, like, I didn't scout, had an opportunity to interact with some locals and learn a bit about the place. There's storms, which are like the more normal, clouds come by, water, snow, whatever falls out of it, precipitation, clouds move on, the world moves on. That's fine. And then there are things that the locals all have different names for them, but the most common and recurring one that you've heard has been let me see my notes. I want to make sure I get the name right.
I hope it rains fucking frogs.
The last note I took was Annis is a wanted murderer. That's fun.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, they just call them disruptions. And a disruption is when the sky gets cloudy and the clouds descend into fog, and then when the fog disperses, there's stuff there that wasn't there before. And there are people among the locals who try to follow these clouds when they're going down, and then once the clouds disperse, they run into the disruption to see what they can find, because disruptions are full of random stuff, or at least random as far as the locals can tell. Sometimes a disruption goes away and there might be like a boat in the middle of a desert. Other times a disruption goes away and structures could be there. There are some small towns that presumably only exist because they were left by a disruption, because it makes no sense for them to be where they are. And there's no rhyme or reason to the architecture. They're from all over. But it seems to just be a thing that happens. And within range of up here, you haven't seen too many of them. But at one point, there were a bunch of clouds, and then they came down near your lake, and they settled on the lake shore, and then when they disappeared, there was an old bus and some phone booths lying around next to the water.
Oh, fuck you.
Yes, excellent. Annis doesn't have any idea, but I am loving it.
Amazing.
So you get the impression that maybe this is part of how new things get here.
As I've been hanging around the lake, have I noticed any large sea serpents? No, I'll see myself out. It's fine.
Not in the lake, but there's a whole ocean out there if you want to go looking.
Do they shoot lasers out of their... Okay, now I'm done.
I mean, you're welcome to go looking.
Turn this into a Digimon campaign. Screw Fate Stay Night.
I mean, I have the rule set from the same people that made the rule set for this game.
Oh, cool. Cool.
So,
So we're waiting on the boy and Diana.
Yeah.
boy.
The
So-
boy.
So did you decide yes or no on the scrying? I just want to know if I should describe this.
Fuck it, I'm gonna scry it. I know him well. I've been in his pants.
Oh my god.
So, you're scrying Buck.
I'm scrying, yes, the
Scrying on
boy.
Buck. Alright, I will definitely have stuck around for this.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know you said you didn't want to know, but I want to know.
Well, okay, when I said I don't want to know, I meant more like I don't want to know what he's sticking his dick in. But
Well, potentially we might find out.
well,
So
if you do find out, please don't tell me.
All
I
right.
will not. I keep the mirror really close to my face until I see an image.
Okay. You're keeping the mirror really close to your face.
Just in
And-
case, so Annis doesn't accident. You never know.
Well, only
If
you
it's
can
fake-
see what's going on in the mirror, I think.
You know that's fair. I put the mirror.
Yeah.
I put it back. I was like,
So you try to scry,
yeah.
and it fails.
I just look over to Annis. He's prevented my scrying. I know he's got something going on because it's not because I don't know him. Being sneaky. He's being sneaky. I'm gonna message him. I'm gonna send.
No?
In another plane?
Or
Well-
hey.
In that space between the world and here? There's a lot of things. There's a lot of reasons. Like, he's probably just fucking with you, dude.
You have been able to scry between Dream's End and the normal world before.
Right?
Yeah, that's why I was like, no. I've done it because I did it to Einosh over.
You know what? I'll do a sending.
Do it.
Okay.
Now here's the question: do I send to Buck or do I send to Diana?
That is entirely up to you.
Oh God.
Who do you want talking back into your mind?
Neither of
I
them.
feel like you could use your ways, and Diana would tell you answers. Buck's just gonna be like, haha, no.
There's nothing. I'm not.
All right, I'm gonna use sending and send to Buck
Okay.
because yeah. All right, hold on. Let's see.
Before you write too much, roll a d20.
Oh.
I
Oh
wish
my.
I could, but it.
Oh,
has
sorry.
on me.
Then I will roll a d20 for you.
Hold on. I'll just do the roll a die thing on.
Or I can roll on your
But
behalf.
I want to.
Okay, she wants to roll.
Okay.
Fine. I will confirm whatever she rolls.
Okay.
Or I mean, I could dig out my dice.
I'm making this work however I can. All right, rolling. Gross.
That is a 4.
That is fine. You beat the 5%, so it works.
Yay.
Now you can send.
Okay.
Sending her. She is counting period.
But where are you, you slut? Just-
Stand by for the sass.
I'm ready for it. I'm sorry.
Honestly, I don't care what either of my cousins put their dicks in, but I'd rather not know. I mean, we have a pretty good idea with beef, but
Okay. She's gonna be like, all right. Hey, heard you're heading here. What time can we expect you and your lady friend? We're plotting shenanigans.
Okay. The response that you get sounds a little bit fuzzy. It's like you got a little bit of interference somewhere.
Yeah.
But you do get the message. And he replies, it's kind of hard for me to tell, but I think we're going through the library, so it shouldn't be too much longer. Also, we're gonna need some food.
Okay.
Are you doing another something?
I mean, I've got one more, but I don't want to use it up right now.
Hmm.
But so they're in the library,
Oh, okay.
so they're pretty close. He did say they are gonna need food when they get.
All right, I'll start on dinner.
I'll help.
What does everyone want for dinner? Any requests?
I don't know why, but I want burritos.
All right. Well, I will see if I can make you some tortillas. We do have corn growing here.
I pull out the veggie yeehaw chili.
No.
From 6 months ago?
I can make you chili. I'll make chili. Chili's a good, yeah. I'll just make some chili. We can do burritos another night. I'll make it vegetarian, and then we can have some meat on the side, I suppose. Large portion, and everyone can just take out what they need. And she's just already pulling out a soup pot.
All right, I'm writing new note. Expired yeehaw veggie chili.
Did you never eat it?
Well,
No, I was saying I thought it was in a cool little container and I could save it for later.
No, that's like you've been holding it in that container for months.
and it's
In
just
the
takes
bag of
container
holding.
out of his hands. Do not poison yourself.
I can poison somebody else.
No.
That's true. Here, just don't poison yourself. Use this
I'm
wisely.
gonna pour it into the fucking roots of
It's a heavy burden. Make sure you use it on Inosh.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
That's a forest that drinks blood. It does not want veggie chili.
Good.
Exactly.
I will poison you with the spiciest of chilies.
Well, if anyone
Oh my
wants to help me
God.
dice up some veggies, we've got here. I'll just
Here,
go.
give me a knife.
I really wish you hadn't phrased it that way. And just hand
She
her
just
a
takes
knife
a knife and.
and some mushrooms. Goes and
I'm getting some practice in.
goes and gets some from some
Okay.
veggies from the various plants growing around so that they're fresh. Trims some herbs. Gets a huge soup pot going.
This is practice for the next time I see Clover. I mean, Inosh.
I was about to say, hold on.
You're the only one that likes him.
It's been
He
long
is an
enough.
innocent bystander, and I will protect him with every fiber of my being.
He is currently a rock.
I love mushrooms, right? We can eat mushrooms again. That's a thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
'Cause they grow really well here in this dank environment we've got going.
Alright, so you successfully produce food on about the timeline you were expecting. Diana comes in, and she looks tired. Like, you get the impression that she's been maybe doing a little bit of cleanup, but for the most part, she's been up since the night before.
Oof.
Like, it was already late in the evening when this stuff started, but she seems to have not really rested, and considering she's a warlock, that means things are bad.
Well, right.
But she looks pretty wiped. She comes in, she sits down next to, I guess, Derek, based on the table, and she sees food, and she doesn't say anything, but she just holds her hand up, and she points at the food to make sure it's for her.
Oh,
This is
yes.
stuff for me?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, here.
Okay,
And just ladle some soup into a bowl and hands her a spoon. Is this a coffee situation or is this a passing out situation?
Yes.
Okay, well we can delay until tomorrow to maybe don't lay down on the table.
It's a nice.
Do you need me to finish your food and we can carry you to your room? Got a nice bed for you there.
Sure.
Okay, now eat. Finish your food.
Oh,
Wake up. Wake up and
So-
finish your food. You need to eat.
As Diana is stumbling through her food, she pauses for a second, and she reaches into a pocket that you couldn't quite see in her outfit, and she pulls out a flask,
It has.
And then, taking that flask, she unscrews the top of it and turns it sideways, and a poof of smoke flies out, and then Buck ends up on the other side of the table.
Fucking
What
knew there was some
the
shenanigans. I
hell?
fucking knew there was
And then
shenanigans.
Buck looks
Oh.
exhausted, and he goes over and starts eating immediately.
What? How did you? What did you? What is that?
And that's our fun cliffhanger.
Handing soup to Buck, just like very concerned.
I knew you had shenanigans. This wasn't a fucking 5% chance. I was like,
Now,
no.
No, it was a 5% chance.
Huh?
It is a 5% chance. He was not on the same plane of existence as you.
Pocket plane. Okay, what's the question for me?
how good was my acting? Because I didn't know shit about what was just happening.
I mean, that was pretty good acting. It's a shame
Yeah.
we couldn't see it because this is an audio medium, but it's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to give you the bullet point rundown of what happened. You can choose to elaborate on that as much or as little as you want next session. But this is a good pausing point because we have a direction of what you're going to do next time. And so we can chill here, and then you can get caught up on what exactly Buck has been up to for the last half a year.
And we can all get a long rest. Some of us need it more than others. Hey.
Yeah? Hooray. All
I like to
right.
think that Annis ends up just carrying Diana to her room and leaves Buck where he was sleeping. I don't know if anyone else wants to help him, but she definitely leaves him.
I mean, Buck doesn't sleep, so...
That's fair. No, he must be exhausted enough that he should sleep.
He will find a way to meditate in peace, but right now he's eating. Yeah. The two of them had a very long night.
In what way?
In the making sure Hennis doesn't get caught for murder way.
Yeah, that's very good. Unexpected Buck.
Surprise!
Surprise Buck, yeah. He doesn't need to sleep. He doesn't need a room. Tucking in Diana.
The true end game right there.
So, yeah,
There
that
you
would
go.
solve a lot of everyone's problems.
All right. So when we get back, we'll resume after they've had a chance to rest and catch you up on what's going on in the world. We'll get all your spells back, so hooray. And then
Yay.
we'll probably be departing for your choice of downriver to the church, or I'm assuming that's where you're going.
Yep,
Yeah.
like it.
And then you'll go looking elsewhere. So cool. Next time we'll do boat stuff. I will get a boat map for you.
Woo.
Oh,
Yay.
Matt, oh, Matt.
Boat. I'm on a boat, motherfuckers.
Demonetize. All right.
Were we
So
ever monetized to begin
no. I am not going to try to make money doing things I like. That'll just kill me.
Max.
All right, so I'm gonna turn off the stream adventure. We still got a pretty long session in, considering how much time we had to do for setup. And by next session, your stats should be fully built out on the servants. So hooray!
Woo, woo.
Numbers.
Yay.
And Johnny have so many spells.
Oh my god. I don't think I was prepared for how many there were.
It's because she's like, we're not following like the bad sorcerer types. We're following the one that gives you another 10 spells.
Yep.
Yay.
I really hope they fix that in 1D&D.
Everybody has spells.
Yay.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have a pile on yours.
Everybody but poor Enon.
He has other things. They will not be
Yay.
spells, but they will be abilities that will be pretty powerful.
The servant. I've got to interact with him to figure out what nickname Annis is going to give him because she's
Well,
going
apparently, he's got spring on from.
right.
Bring on.
Yeah, you just call it spring. It means spring. It's like Anon,
get
but with an
sense of-
E.
I've got to get the sense of whether he's super serious or he can take a joke. Because, like, the joke I would... Like, if we find out he's an archer, she's going to just call him every famous archer she can think of. And just, like, a different one each time. Just to, like, mess with him. And any
Like-
potential people that are listening in.
Be like, are you Robin Hood?
You have to tell me. Them's the rules.
Look, I'm just saying, you never know if I did actually Thanos. So,
You're cutting out.
It's more dramatic that way.
That's,
But
We heard you'll never know.
it was, you'll never know if I did summon Robin Hood just to fuck
Right.
with Thanos.
That would be very funny.
I'm just saying. I know your one true weakness. Thanos hates Robin Hood.
He doesn't believe he's real.
He's real now. Boom. And just like I revealed, like.
Originally, I was thinking I would summon Robin Hood, but trying to summon a different archer and then summon Robin Hood somehow, and then be very mad about it. This is better.
I mean, back then I thought of 3 classes that Robin Hood could be. Robin Hood could be an archer. Robin Hood could be a rider. Robin Hood could be an assassin.
That's true. But yeah, I think that's what she'll do. She'll just start naming every famous archer she can think of, and have it be a different one each time. And she'll never know if she ever got it right.
That's fun. All right, well, I'm gonna hit the stop button. So good night, internet backup stream. Woo woo.
Good night.
Good night.